longer train than I thought it was.
So why is this Amtrak train going backwards out of the station? No, it's not going to the yard. It's actually heading to southern Illinois. But it's not going to go all the way there backwards, is it? No, it's not. You see, this train, as well as some other Amtrak routes, are running on the old Illinois Central main line. This may not sound like a problem, until you learn that the Illinois Central main line was never intended to come into Chicago Union Station. Illinois Central had its own station closer to the lake shore, and so there was never really any practical route built for passenger trains to get to Union Station. When Amtrak took over passenger trains, they wanted to be more consolidated to a single location, and so they had all Chicago trains served at Union Station. But this was a problem for trains that use the Illinois Central line, like the Illini going down to Carbondale, or the city of New Orleans to New Orleans. As a result, the trains have to take a really wonky route through Chicago. Let's go over to the map and take a look. This is Open Railway Map. It's a free railroad map for the entire world. We're just zoomed in on Chicago here. It may look a little messy. The blue tracks you see are the Chicago CTA, so you can ignore those. The black are yard tracks, the orange are mainline, and the yellow are branch lines. Chicago Union Station is right here. And the Illinois Central main line those trains need to get to is here. Keen observers will notice that there isn't really a good connection between those. Therein lies the answer to why the trains are going backwards. So how do they get from Union Station to the main line? Well, it turns out the route they currently use is not what they originally used. The route Amtrak first used when they took over started off with trains coming south out of Union Station in reverse. They would back up onto the Burlington route, which is now the BNSF. Then they would change direction and go up an embankment, up an incline, onto what's called the St. Charles Airline, where they would cross back over the tracks they'd just been on and cross over the Chicago River on a lift bridge, before running east above the streets of Chicago and then turning south to join onto the Illinois Central main line. But now there's a problem. That lift bridge is out of service. Some construction work several years back broke the cables that are used to power it, and it was not fixed, because there was another way trains could get where they needed to go. But now with that bridge out of service, trains have to use a different route, and it's still very time-consuming. Let's hop on board a train and see what that route is like for ourselves. Trains begin in the same way as before, by reversing out of Union Station. They continue on backwards through the Metra and Amtrak yards near Roosevelt Road. Instead of reversing onto the BNSF line, they reverse straight past that Y and across another lift bridge over the Chicago River. The river curves, so it goes under both the St. Charles Airline and this north-south track. Oh, the polarizing filter is doing very interesting things to the color of the river.
You haven't walked on there's like a swaying like this before, have you? You're not sure how to feel about it. No. No crawling on this floor. That's not a clean floor. Maybe we'll just walk up and down the car this way.
I think this movie is about to stop, Catherine.
What?
I think I'm about to be wanting to go to the abs. I think we're going to stop. I think we're going to stop pretty soon. Oh, CTA.
I'll probably just walk up and down this car for a bit.
Okay.
Try to get her
Relaxed.
relaxed. How long did you say it'll take for this?
The train continues reversing down near an intermodal facility. 20 minutes or less. And a switch ahead of it is thrown, so it can go more north or northeast, paralleling the river, giving a nice view of both lift bridges. Okay, I think we're about to be able to see the big bridge out our window.
Oh! That is indeed a big bridge right out our window.
Yeah. It can let pretty tall ships through. Look at all those sailboats parked near it. And look how it's parallelogram shaped to be parallel to the... I don't know if it's trying to be parallel to the river shape, or if it's trying to have a slanted connection so the two rail joints aren't quite next to each other, or what exactly is the strategy. Until it reaches the St. Charles Airline, the eastern portion, east of the bridge, is out of service. From there, it can continue on along above the streets of Chicago. This is us now elevated, making our U-turn across Chicago.
I'm going to set that right there.
Okay, and there's the CTA we're going under. Oh, we even get a Metro Electric train.
Figure out what I'm seeing.
Well, that's Soldier Field you're seeing. And a Metro Electric train passing it. Ridiculous looking.
That tells me nothing.
Reach the Illinois Central Main Line, now better known as Metro Electric. The reason you don't see anything beyond those trees is that's Lake Michigan. Does that tell you something?
Only marginally more.
The electrified tracks are owned by Metra, and the parallel non-electrified tracks are owned by Canadian National, which bought Illinois Central. The Amtrak trains use the Canadian National tracks. So they continue over the Metra Electric tracks underneath the McCormick Place Conference Center and come down next to them on the east side of the track. While this results in some interesting views of the city of Chicago and the Chicago River, it's pretty impractical. It's estimated that this maneuver adds 15 minutes to the ride time of all the Amtrak trains that use it. That may not sound like a lot, but it does make a difference, especially for the regional routes. As part of Amtrak's plans to improve Union Station and the yards, they're hoping to build a connecting track coming out of Union Station and curving directly over to connect onto the St. Charles Airline and restore the bridge into service. Who knows whether that will come to fruition, and if so, when. But Amtrak has recently received a lot of funding to work on Union Station, so it's not out of the question that this project could happen. Let's hope it does. It'll be one more step to making American rail service more practical.
Now, I need some new building right there, but I'm just talking about that building right there. I know how that building is. Oh, that building, but then right here, about the 80s and 90s, you know what I mean? Right there, yeah. And then these transitions right now, keep the power
no, they're trying to turn it on. Oh, they're doing.
Yeah, we can go to the dark right here. I know that when we see this, we can go to the dark.
Pay to have insurance.
Well, I've been on that shit forever.
You're going to have these insane deductibles. Hey, I think you have